The moment that somebody says, I didn't get nobody locked up, run for the hills. Run for the hills. I mean, no disrespect, right? But I saw King Yella do that. And I was just like, ooh, big no, huge red light. It is what it is, right? King Yella's been combating the snitch label for quite some time, right? Supposedly he got grabbed up and during either a motion for suppression or during interrogation, whatever it was. He was asked questions about like Snap Dog, and he was asked questions about people like 600 Breezy, and he was co-signing and saying yes about their gang affiliation, etc. Right? And let's say that interrogation and that information or answering those questions, yes or no, even if it was public knowledge, never got those people in trouble. Let's say no detective ever listened to King Yella's answers, interrogation, or read his suppression motion, whatever it is, and they never went and grabbed 600 Breezy and said, "Hey, I knock on your door because King Yella said that you's a BD or you's a GD or you's a gang member," right? That never happens. Does that remove being a snitch or being a rat or cooperating or being a cooperant off of the table? It 100% does not. And anytime I hear these street niggas say that shit, it scares the shit out of me. Because if they really, really mean it, then they don't even understand the street code themselves and they're supposed to be street niggas. Or even worse, they do understand the street code, and that's an excuse, once again, that should make anybody around them run for the fucking hills. If I walk into my local precinct right now, right? If I'm a street nigga and I got competition, right? I got my workout on this corner and this corner and this corner. And then two more corners down, two more streets down, there's a product that's out. It's on some blue magic shit. It's competing with mine. They clipping my customers coming down the block before they're making it to me. Even my regulars is going over there for the blue magic now, right? But I'm a dealer. But my money is slowing down because these niggas is clipping my customers. Cool. I walk into the precinct and I say, "Sergeant, I'd like to have a conversation with a detective." And he says, "All right, give me a second." Brings a detective out. The detective says, "Hey, what's going on?" I say, "Nice to meet you, man. ARP, man. I want to have a conversation with you. I want to tell you about some illegal drug activity that's happening in my neighborhood." He says, "All right, come with me." Takes me into his office. We sit down. "Hey, man, you good? You want something to eat? You good and comfortable, whatever?" They don't even got to offer those people nothing because they're there on their own will, right? And I say, "Look, man, on Broadway and 159th, this guy by the name of Larry out there. You could catch him running the shift between like 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. He's out there and he's serving customers, yada, 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 yada. I promise you, if you roll up, you could catch him." Detective looks at me. He says, "I appreciate it, man." He shakes my hand. He writes down some information. I walk out the precinct. Larry never gets arrested. That detective never even goes to that block. He never cares about the information that I gave him. Does that change me being a snitch or not? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Just because your information isn't used or nobody got locked up does not remove what you did. And anytime I hear people say that, it scares the shit out of me. Nope, they think about it. They say it all the fucking time. They'll be like, "Nobody got locked up behind my actions." So that's not what changes your status from actually cooperating or answering questions the way you shouldn't have, or saying yes, or snitching or ratting. It doesn't change what you did just because nobody got locked up. That shit is insane. And the lawyer is making the same mistake here. The lawyer is saying that nothing that my client said was used in the trial. He was never called as a witness and it didn't affect Young Thug. That's great. But technically, Gunna rolled the dice then on that. I think it's a good thing for Young Thug and for Gunna that he wasn't called to the stand, that none of his shit was used or not, right? That's good. That's great. Whether it could or it couldn't have been in certain circumstances based on the Alfred plea situation and all that type of shit, all the little, details to an Alfred plea. Some yes, some no, whatever. But we just played the clip of what Gunna did, and the only thing that really removes Gunna from what he did and what he said in co-signing anything that is negative, or the co-signing of laws being broken, right? The only thing that would remove him from the label that a lot of people wasn't scared to give him is if he really, really this whole time was a civilian and never give a fuck about none of that gang shit. Then the only question becomes morals and principles, because isn't Young Thug your boy? Isn't that your friend? Or is that just your label mate? Now, if it's just, that's the only thing that removes everything. Look, man, I don't fuck with him like how Alex Spiro tried to do with Jay-Z and Diddy. Like, look, man, Diddy's not Jay-Z's friend. He's not my client's friend. They just see each other at basketball games and network at engagements. Like, that's what it would have to be. Yeah, I signed to his label. We're not friends. I'm not, there's nothing about me trying to hold him down. And on top of that, I don't give a fuck what you heard of my music. I'm not a street nigga. I'm not a gangster. I never was. I never represented YSL. I never partook in none of their shit. I just threw it up and mentioned it in the songs because that was the label. And I was just following behind. But other than that, I'm a law-abiding citizen and I don't really fuck with them niggas anyway. This is just my career. This is just my job. Then you're removed. You're removed from the principle side and the moral side of that. Yeah, you're removed because you're saying you don't fuck with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all that never seen your manager or your boss outside of work, a lot of y'all have no loyalty to him other than the fact, or her, other than the fact that they cut your check. Right? That's the only thing that will remove Gunna. And I try to be very respectful and careful with that whole rat and that snitch thing. You know what I'm saying? They say you never do that unless there's paperwork, but sometimes there's video as well. And I'm not here to do, like, I wish Gunna the most success in the world. I just don't think that his lawyer coming out and doing that helps him at all, because that's the disconnect. The moment you say nothing that my client did actually affected Young Thug, it shows me that you don't understand.